Hello, so today we're going to take a look at how to get the cinematic image. I know professional DPs absolutely hate it if you say that, but I am not a professional DP, so why should you listen to me? I'm a professional photographer, so that's basically the same thing as long as we keep it on sticks, I guess. We're going to focus on lighting today. There's more that plays into it. Coloring is very important, as well as framing, obviously. But basically, if you keep those very, very basic tips in mind, honestly, you will get pretty far. You can get away with worse coloring. Framing still needs to work. That kind of plays into it as well. By no means is this going to be a full lighting tutorial. It's really just two little tricks that you can implement. So number one would be motivated lighting. If you have light, there needs to be an obvious source for where the light is actually coming from. In this case, we have a window right there. By no means is this a great shot. It's just, you know, what I had right now. We're gonna do some better stuff in a second. Motivated lighting, right? There needs to be a source, an obvious source for where the light is coming from. Number two would be shooting shadow side. You see this a lot in movies, like a lot in basically every movie that looks good. If the camera is over here, you're not shooting the side of my face that gets hit with light, you're shooting the shadow side of my face. So if I sit like this, right, shadow, light, shooting shadow side. I also just hit the microphone, I hope that wasn't too bad. Shooting shadow side in the most basic way, and if you don't want to keep watching, that is it. Those two things will improve your videos massively. But let's get into a bit more detail. Okay, so let's wrap it back a little bit here. Let's kill all the light. We are exposed for what we can control, which is this window, right? Because if I don't do that, if I just go with one ND filter and I raise the exposure to match whatever is happening, kind of, it looks terrible, right? We have blown out windows. That's not very cinematic. So we always start out by controlling what we can't control in a way, which is exposing for our highlights. Cool, so now that we're properly exposed for our highlights, the outside world, which we can't just turn the brightness up and down on, we want to bring in some lighting because obviously I am very dark. What's important with that is that we bring it in a way that makes it look almost like it could be this outside light, right? Now that would be super easy if I could go outside and set up a light outside and just shoot it through the window. Sadly, I can't do that because I live on the second floor. Let's see what we can do. Okay, now I'm sure that it is a hell of a lot more obvious to you now than it was before because I've turned it off and on, so now you'll probably really notice it. The key thing here is to not hit light on anything that you don't really want to hit light on. So this curtain, I'm not hitting with my own light. I'm trying not to hit with my own light. Like I said, very limited on space and resources here. And right now it's very overcast outside, so I made it a bit cooler to also match the outside temperature of the lighting. And you don't need anything crazy powerful. Like I said, this is a 60 watt light. It's at 70% power right now because if I crank this up all the way, it's gonna be super obvious again that this is not actually coming from out there at all. So again, what we're doing here is just exposing for the outside, adding one very simple light, making it look like it comes from out there, and then we basically position the camera in a 90-degree angle to the light. So when I would sit here the way, you know, I'll work on my computer, basically you're shooting into the shadow side of my face. So that's really how simple it can be, doing those two things. Anyway, with all that being said, let's play around with this and do some cooler looking stuff. Okay, so this is gonna be our better scenario now. It's dark out, which is perfect, just what we wanted. And yeah, right now you can tell this is not looking very cinematic at all. We have one light, it's coming pretty much straight on here from the same angle that the camera's on. We can fix that really easily here. Luckily, we can do two things in one step. There's a window right there. So we're gonna motivate the light through this window. That's also going to give us some reverse key lighting basically because camera's over here, lighting is going to come from here. That should make a drastic difference. So let's do that. Yeah, so that was super easy. Switched it up, created a bit of shadow here by rolling down the blinds. It's that simple, right? We motivated the light with the window. It's at a 90-degree angle now. looks way better. So that's really, really simple, super fun to play around with. Now, I'm gonna play around with the white balance a bit, both in camera and with the light. Just, you know, you can go for more of a night theme or something a bit more dystopian like Blade Runner or, well, New York at some point last year. Anyway, yeah, keep those two things in mind. Motivated lighting and shooting shadow side / reverse key lighting, and play around with it. Like I said, it's super fun and it's really simple to create some super nice images with it. Anyway, see you in the next one. And yes, I was using a camera as a microphone stand this whole time.